Hello everyone. This is a brief video overview of how to find and participate in the extra credit group discussion board for those who might be interested in earning a little bit of extra credit. Okay, so if you are interested, you'll come over here and you'll click on the groups link that I have created and placed in the course, and you'll be taken to the groups page where you will see the extra credit group created, and there's a little button here that says sign up. So if you are interested, you'll click on sign up and it will enroll you in the class. And if you want to make sure that you have signed up for the group, you'll click on that again and you'll see that your name has been added to the group, and just like we've seen before, all the tools that are available to you are there. I have made available to you Blackboard Collaborate, so to the extent that anybody in the group wants to start or hold a Collaborate session where you actually get to see and hear and talk with your classmates, then you can do that regarding the discussions that you might have over how to approach the extra credit assignment that I may have given. All right, the group discussion board is the next thing that you would click on, and you see that this is for the extra credit group. This is the forum, so this is the one that you would click on. And right now there is this opportunity, making an extra credit instructional video showing students how to use the compare feature in Google Docs. Let's go ahead and click on that. So you'll see that I have a post here kind of explaining what the task is, and I have part of what I need to have here, which is a video tutorial showing how to use the compare feature in Word. So you can look at that and kind of get a sense of what you need to include. The little video that I have here is about 6 minutes in length. You might be able to do yours in a shorter amount of time, but it's not going to take terribly long to make the video. As you know, one of the things that I have you do in this class is to compare drafts between Draft 1 and Draft 2 to show the revisions that you have made. And if you've seen the other video that I made, you've already seen, something like what you see here in the thumbnail. You'll see that when you compare features, when you use the compare feature in Word or in Google Docs, what it does is it will see what differences emerge between the drafts, and anything that is added after Draft 1 or taken out will be reflected in the comparison, and all the things that have been added will be underlined and in a different color, and all the things that have been taken out will likewise be in color, but instead of being underlined, they will have a line through them. So it's a very visual way for us to see the extent to which a given student went to in order to try to make meaningful content-based revisions between drafts. Now, the compare feature in the online version of Word, which the school provides all students, does not have the compare button in it. Now, usually what I have students do that are using the online version of Word is I just have them submit both Draft 1 and Draft 2 to the assignment link when they turn in the revised draft, and I do the comparison for them in Word. However, I have just discovered that Google Docs has this feature. They have the ability to compare drafts, and I have had students in the past who have worked exclusively in Google Docs, and they have figured out a way to do all the things that I require and still save them as Word files, which is what I require students to submit their assignments in. So what I would like for you to do, should you choose to do this extra credit assignment, is to make an instructional video showing students how to use the compare feature in Google Docs. So before you're able to do this, you'll have to take a little bit of time and play around in Google Docs to figure out how to use the compare feature. So there's that strategy of just playing around with it and figuring it out on your own. And you can also Google. You can Google and you can find videos that will show you how to use the compare feature, and you can use that to help you figure out how to do that. Now, for the purpose of illustration and for the purpose of you making an instructional video for your classmates, it will be necessary for you to have a couple of files to work with. It is not necessary that you use your personal rough draft and your second draft to do the comparison, although you can if you would like to do that. If you don't want to do that, though, you can just create a little, kind of quick file. You can write maybe a paragraph or so on something and then save that, whatever you're going to save it as, and then open the file and click on File Save As and add a 2 to it, just like I've asked you to do for your actual draft, and then make enough changes to the draft 2 of the document that you're working on so that when you do the comparison, students will be able to see, wow, you added a whole paragraph, or you took out 6 lines that you had in the original. Doesn't really matter what you write about. The point is that you want to show them the process of how to do it, and in order to do that, you just want to make sure that you have enough text on the page, especially on draft 2, so that there's enough change between drafts that they'll be able to see that, oh, okay, even in Google Docs it underlines things that have been added and it crosses a line through things that have been taken out, and so on. And once you show them how to use the use the compare feature, you also need to show them how to save the file as something logical. They'll want to have the word compare in it to emulate what they need to do for their actual drafts. So what we'll do for students that are able to do the comparison on their own, they will save their file as something like this: compared FEAR essay or compared FEAR draft, so that it's the one with the lines in it and it's not the clean copy, which just is the one that has the number 2 on it, because I need to see the one with the lines. So I have here a listing of the things that you would need to do in your video. You would need to show students how to open up Word files in Google Docs, because not everybody may be working in Google Docs. They may not be familiar with it, and they may be working in the online version of Word at school, which is great, which is fine. It does most of everything that we need it to do, but I wish it had the compare feature, but it doesn't. But for those students in particular, you'll need to show them how to open a Word file in Google Docs, how to use the compare feature. You need to walk through the steps for that, how to save the compared file as something logical, and then how to save it as a Word file or export it as a Word file so that when they turn it into the assignment link to me, it is in the appropriate file format and it has the lines. It's the compared file. It's the right one. And then maybe one of the last things that you want to do in the video is remind students that they have to turn in the compared file showing the changes between drafts for the draft 2 assignment in order to receive credit, and maybe remind them too that the focus for the revisions is not on proofreading and editing, and that although it's okay to do that, absolutely correct spelling, correct any errors on the works cited page, do all the little stuff, but the real focus on draft 2 is making meaningful content-based revision. So we're talking about adding things to the paragraphs, taking things out, redoing sections if necessary in order to improve that. Remind them of those things so that nobody makes the mistake of accidentally turning in either a clean copy of their revised draft, for which I can't give any credit. I need to see the evidence, I need to see the proof, I need the copy with the lines, and a reminder that if students just made a gesture and they just added the word "and" somewhere and made a few minor additions, that's not really revision. That's more like editing and just making small surface level changes, and that's not what this is graded on. You'll have opportunity to do those kind of things between drafts 2 and 3. The focus on this is content and substance. We have to get that in order before we're even really ready to fiddle with, too extensively, the spelling, the grammar, the punctuation, the citations, the works cited page. I mean, those things should be fixed to the extent they can be in this draft, but there's more opportunity to focus on just that between drafts 2 and 3. All right, so if you're still interested and you're still watching, I'm going to show you how you would go about doing that. So let me scroll down here and I'm going to reply to my own post. So let's say I want to make a video, I want to do the extra credit. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on reply, and notice it opens up a document editor. And if you participated in the discussions that we had before, you already know this, that it opens up a document editor, but you may not know all the bells and whistles and all the things that you have at your disposal. So one of the things that you have here is the ability to use VidGrid, and this is a tool that I have used sometimes to make some of the screencasts in class, and it's available to you using the discussion tool. And this is one of the reasons why I made this available here through discussion, because it's an automatic drop-down menu thing that I can include here that you can click on. So you'd click on that, and it may not allow me to show you some things because I have instructor access, but it looks like it's letting me in. Now the first time you click on it, it's going to ask you to click on something to download. It's going to ask you to download a file that will allow you to record. But once you do that, then this is what you would click on to record a video. So you'd click on that, and then it's going to come with a pop-up menu, and it's going to say open the screen recorder, and you would want to do that. And here we go, it's down at the bottom. So right now it's not doing anything. So whenever you're ready to make your instructional video, you'd come here and you're going to want to make it full screen. So you can also drag it, but let me go ahead and make this full screen. So you want to make that full screen. And so right now you can probably see the little dotted line, that's around everything. You can see that the mic is picking up what I'm saying. This is the record button right here, and this is like a webcam, so if you ever wanted you to be in the video as well, you could do that. And there are options where you can do just the screen, just the webcam, or the screen and the webcam. Since this is a screencast, I think it suffices just for you to record your screen. When you're ready to record, you would click on this. There are hotkeys here. I'm going to go ahead and click on the settings. So these are things that you could click on to they're kind of like shortcuts. And so if I click on that, it shows you that if you click these combinations, Shift Alt R, it'll start the recording. That same thing will pause it, resume it. If you want to stop the recording, Shift Alt D. If you want to minimize this little recorder thing that you see at the bottom, then you would click on Shift Alt M. But if you click on that, the only thing you have to remember is you're going to have to either write down or click on what the hotkeys are, because this won't be here for you to click on this to stop it. If you leave this visible on the screen, you can click on this to stop the video, to pause it. You can also, if you don't like what you've done, you can start over, and so on. And there is an ability to edit after the fact and so on as well. So lots of tools and tricks right here. But if you do want to minimize the recorder, it's Shift Alt M, and then this little thing disappears. And you would just have to remember that, when I want to stop, I need to do Shift Alt D. The way I try to remember, although sometimes I forget, is I think of D as the done, like when you're done, Shift Alt D, and it will stop the recording. But let me just go ahead and minimize that, and let me even go ahead and minimize this. Okay, so now I'm back on this screen right here. So if I were going to make a video right here, I could go ahead and click the start if I wanted to, and it would begin. If I wanted to open up a tab, and so if you're doing the Google Docs thing, you're going to navigate to your Google Docs and all of that, and you would do that. But let's say I just wanted to show something simple, like how to navigate to the TED.com website to watch a TED video. So let me just go ahead and do that. I'm going to click record here, and there's a countdown. And then you can start speaking now. And this is where you would say, hi, my name is such and such, and this is a brief video tutorial. You kind of have your intro there explaining what it is and so on. And then you just do what you need to do to explain what you need to explain. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to explain how to navigate to the TED website and find a TED video that you'd like to watch. So I'm just going to do this just as a simple little demonstration. And then, you explain what you're doing while you're doing it. And I might say, okay, the first step is to open up a tab and then type in the web address for the TED website, which is TED.com. And then here on the home page, you're going to want to click on the icon that looks like a magnifying glass, and this is the search bar. And let's say, for example, you would like to watch one of the TED Talks that we watched earlier, and maybe it's the one by J.K. Rowling. So if you happen to know the person that you would like to, whose TED video you'd like to see, you'll just type in their last name, and this is one way to search for that. And notice here, we found the first choice is the one that we saw in class. All right, so that's what you would do in order to create that little video. And then let's see if I can remember Shift Alt D. That should have stopped it, and it may not have, because I have another screen recorder going on top of this one. So let me see if that worked. It kind of disappeared. So we'll find out in a minute if that worked. If not, I may have to redo that part. But that's basically what you what you would do, and then when that video is done and when it renders, you know, that's when you can come back here in and be able to save and post that. All right, so let me go ahead and stop the big video and let's see if this works.